Hello and welcome to my automatic zombie villager converter delivery system. With the click of a button, this system can deliver 3 zombie villagers that have been splashed by a weakness potion straight to you, ready to be cured. For the explanation on how this works, I'm going to be using this contraption over here, primarily because it is hooked up with 2 command blocks that automate all of the adding of of villagers and minecarts for me, so I don't have to do it manually every time. I don't have to reset it. If you plan on building them, don't build this one. It's different and doesn't work exactly the same. Build this one. That one will work. So we'll start right here with the villager spawning chamber. This is a very common villager spawning design. I didn't come up with it, but it is all over the place. I tried to find the original creator to credit, but I couldn't. Basically, the way it works is they make babies, and the babies fall through, and then they sit here ready to be collected. Now this machine will break if you run it with less than 3 villagers in there, which is why I added this little contraption right here that will count until you hit 3 villagers in there, turns this light on, and once this is on, you know you can run it. So let's just go ahead and run it one time right here. The villager gets picked up, and then it gets converted, and then it gets sent along. Now let's run that back in slow motion a little bit. Look very closely. As you can see right there, whenever it gets converted, the zombie drops down a little bit, which releases this string, and that is what the main brain of this contraption runs off of. This machine detects when the villager gets zombified so that it can know when to send another and when to send another, and essentially when to operate this whole thing. So let's go ahead and walk through exactly what happens when that string gets pulsed. So pretend that I am a zombie, right? Not a zombie, a villager. Pretend I'm a villager. I come through here, I step into the string, and there's a pulse. As you can see, it goes through the observer right here, into here, and first down through this sticky piston, pulling the redstone and allowing a pulse to come through. Let's do it again. Redstone comes out. This piston pulls down this block right here, allowing the next pulse to travel all the way through. I'll step back. And it goes all the way through. Now there's supposed to be another piece of redstone right here, but I removed it so it doesn't start sending out villages and stuff, because we don't want that. So the reason that this block needs to be pulled, because of course there could just be a piece of redstone right there, or they could just have redstone that just in that corner right there, is because this piston right here serves as the stop. Whenever this is powered, the machine will not run, and that gets used multiple times throughout this explanation. I'll explain to you why it kind of needs to have that. So every time this redstone block gets moved into this position and then back, this dropper is given a redstone pulse. As you can see, there's 1 redstone dust in there right now, and there's 2 in here right now. If we take that over and move to the other side, this is the default position. 2 redstone dust in here, 1 redstone dust in here. What this machine is a little counter to ensure that only 3 villagers go through every time. Let's run it real quick just to give you all a demonstration. 2, 1, guy goes through, next one comes through, 1, none, and they feed back in. Final guy goes through, and we are back to 2 and 1, and the 3 villagers are set. Now I'm not going to pretend that I know how this thing works, how this counter works. I stole it from this dude named TT Sir Minecraft from like a 10-year-old video, but it works, and it does what I need it to do. If you probably want a better explanation, go to his video. So once all of the redstone has come across, once all 3 villagers come through, we get a pulse that comes through and activates this dispenser just long enough so that whenever this guy comes down, this guy is pushed up and the pulse cannot come through, ensuring that only 3 villagers come out, and it does not send any more once this string is let down. So what we have right here is a simple pulse extender that reads whenever this redstone dust gets sent to this hopper, and then makes sure that this piston is pushing out, ensuring that this one stays in the off position. And as you can see right there, it pushed that redstone down and the signal never went through, ensuring that another minecart is not sent out and we do not end up with a fourth zombie. So the other part of the brain is this line right here, which controls the villager's stopping position such that the zombie can zombify it, and then it gets sent on the way whenever the redstone happens again. So let's follow this minecart right here. When it goes down there, it gets stuck right on the bottom of the fence. The hitboxes are just like you can't even see them touching, but trust me, it works, okay? It just does. Now, whenever this string gets activated, it gives it just enough time to inch forward a tiny bit so that it is still kind of on the incline, but now has clipped through the fence just enough that whenever this, gets untriggered, it can go straight through. And of course, this is controlled by using redstone to control the state of the gate and a redstone torch to control the state of the powered rail. because it takes 1 tick to convert from redstone to redstone torch and then turn it off, it gives 1 tick for the cart to move forward just enough so that it can go through the gate. And of course, I think we all know if a gate's shut, you can't go through it, but if it's open and you like nudge through it, you have free reign of the whole thing. Yeah, it uses that. So the next step in the process is splashing the zombies with weakness. And the way this works, I found this neat little trick. If you have 2 rails right here, 2 powered rails, and then an incline with a detector rail, as soon as you put in a third entity into this mix, all 3 of them will get pushed forward. The third entity will push this guy forward, turning on those 2 powered rails and sending everyone on their way. So let's just demonstrate that right here. He gets zombified, he drops in, and they all get pushed along exactly how they're supposed to. Now, this guy right here does a little bouncy action because, you know, there's not enough room for all 3 of them to go around these curves. It's fine. It is what it is. Next, there's this little indent right here with a little bit of redstone right there. This is just kind of what happened to work to ensure that all 3 of these guys gets put in the exact place that they belong to. Without this funky business right here, they just wouldn't go where they're supposed to. I couldn't tell you why. I'm not the genius here. And of course, as you probably saw, this redstone right here piggybacks off the detector rail to power the dispenser so that it can splash the zombies right as they come through at the perfect moment. And so the second to last stop around the loop is this part right here. This is where they're going to be held while they get cured and while you know, look at their trades and stuff. The way it works is the minecart will go through, it will stop on this detector rail, turn this redstone on, turning off this torch and closing the gate and leading the next minecart to end up in this spot. So the next one will come through. It'll stop, this will shut, and the final one can come in and wait. And now the final step in the machine is to either decide to send the villagers back in to be re-zombified for more discounts, or to send them into whatever storage system you have set up. So this area is a little bit finicky, and there's a couple things going on. First and foremost, whenever you're sending your villagers back into the machine, you want to make sure that it is flicked to the in position, which will send a redstone pulse here, turning on this torch, sending this redstone over here, to push into the off position so that the machine does not send out any more villagers. And this of course ensures once again that whenever the villager gets zombified and that string becomes untriggered and this guy gets pulled up and pushed down again, the pulse once again does not come through sending another guy out, because we want you to be able to control that all through this button. We don't want it to happen automatically whenever you don't want it to happen automatically. So anytime this is flicked to send the villagers back into the machine, it cannot and will not output more villagers. And the next decision is to send them over to your storage system once again, because this button serves 2 purposes. 1, outputting the villagers, and 2, let me just load a guy in here real quick. It also serves as the on button to load the 3 of them. Once you click it, it will send you out a minecart. This little contraption right here ensures that whenever this detector rail is triggered, the redstone beneath it gets triggered, and this repeater gets locked so that no pulse can come through and dispense more minecarts. So I'll throw this guy in here, minecart in there, minecart right here. If we click the button to go into the storage system, the minecart does not get spat out because you don't want it to. And of course, one final demonstration, we have our 3 villagers in place, so we can go ahead and press the button right there, sends out the minecart, zombified, next guy comes through, zombified, and then the final guy comes through, gets zombified, and then they are splashed, and they all feed into their homes. So before I end this off, I would like to make note of 2 very important things. This wall right here technically isn't needed for the farm to run. And by farm I mean machine. However, if there are villages right here, the zombie will target these guys. He will not care about the guy who's standing right in front of them. So these blocks right here are kind of needed if you want him to turn the villagers into zombie villagers. However, if you're taking these guys off somewhere else, this wall isn't needed. Additionally, please make sure that there are 2 full blocks above the beds. Do not bring these guys down half the block. Then they will not breed. The villagers need a full 2 blocks right here in order to breed. I've noticed several times if I've screwed around with redstone or jumped in and out of that guy too fast, these redstone blocks will become in incorrect positions, i.e. right here. This position right there is always the default position that redstone should be. Same with this guy right here. It should always be in that position. Finally, for this counter right here, make sure that there is always 2 items right here. It doesn't have to be redstone, and 1 item right here, and additionally another item in this hopper right here. So hopefully I was able to somewhat stumble through my words to kind of explain what was going on here. Don't feel too bad if you don't understand how it goes. You know, I don't feel like I did the best job explaining because there's a lot of complicated stuff that goes on here. This wasn't a really easy thing for me to throw together, and so it's of course not going to be a really easy thing to explain. Anyways, I'm not going to do like a block by block tutorial or anything. I'm just going to give out this little slideshow here showing from top to bottom how it's built, and then I'm also going to throw in a world download in the description so you can just download that and you can take a look at it yourself. And then of course, if you're a little Litematica fan, I have included these red and blue dots right here. You don't have to use them, or you don't have to build them, you know, but if you use Litematica, it makes it really easy to select the whole thing. You just copy that, send it over to your world, and then you can build it like that. It's a whole lot easier than copying step by step from a world download. And so, as much as this is probably going to be a pain to build, I hope it makes filling in your villager trading center a whole lot less of a pain. You know, it's just a couple clicks and then you're good to go. However, if this is too much of a pain for you, I have another video out on a really simple one that you can just throw together. That one's very easy, a lot less redstone. That one came out right before this one, and I'll put it in the description for you. So with that, I would like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.